welcome to a very special evening of PEGASYS Profiles. I'm Lauren Stefanelli, the manager of the PEGASYS TV Center of Time Warner Cable, and I'm very pleased to welcome tonight 4 award-winning documentary producers from Tompkins County who have produced documentaries that have been nationally and regionally recognized in video festivals sponsored by the Alliance for Community Media, a national organization of access centers all the way across the country, 2,000 access centers, and these 4 producers have produced work that have been recognized to be among the best in the nation in locally produced documentaries. We're going to be having a very special 2-hour block here of programming. I hope you make some popcorn and stick along with us. We'll be first having a half-an-hour interview segment where we'll go a little bit behind the scenes with these 4 producers and find out how they came to make these programs and what it takes to put a documentary together. When you're an individual and don't have thousands of dollars, don't have a big crew, don't have tons of resources at your beck and call. And then we will actually watch all 3 of these documentaries in their entirety. So following this 30-minute interview program, we'll be seeing each of the 3 documentaries in full. So I hope you'll stay with us for all of that time and really enjoy seeing some of the best that access programming can be here at PEGASYS. My first guests tonight I'd like to introduce are Htee and Nancy Koch. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And both of you have produced a documentary together, which was, essentially it's your first video, the very first video you ever made, is that right?
Yes.
So not only is it your first video, but this first video was recognized in a national Access Award competition, and we're so proud of you. In addition, it was recognized here at PEGASYS in February as the finest public access program produced during 1998 at PEGASYS in Tompkins County, and went on to win a national award. So we're thrilled to pieces for you, and it's really unprecedented that someone making their very first video should be able to pull that off. And we're really excited to have an opportunity to let viewers find out how you came to do it, basically how I did it. So one thing that I was talking to you a little bit about before the show, especially for you, Shwe, is that even though this documentary is presented as a story that affects the whole country of Burma, essentially for you it's a very personal story. So perhaps you could tell us a little bit about the program birth and tell us what it means to you.
Well, I made the birth because I have 2 reasons. The one reason, where we live in under the Burmese military rule, how the Burmese people suffer in their life. So I will like to be shared to this information to other nations, to what kind of, even the regime own people, how they treat this own people. That is the one thing I want to show the international community. The second one, these already happened. No one knows, you know. So then, after the people started to recognize the Burmese Burma situation, and then the people will be they stop supporting to the Burmese military regime. And then the next generation will be learn about Burmese generation will be learn about how to get the freedom and after free Burma. So that's why I wanted to be made this documentary film. Then at the same time I asked to the Nancy, and then the Nancy is really helpful to in this film what I make it, and then we did make it, and then I would like to thanks to the PEGASYS, you guys, to helping out to the documentary, and it really come out really well.
But this story is something that is very personal to you because it's something that you lived.
Right, right. So in this documentary, and then I testify to my personal experience of the one girl was killed by Burmese military regime, and then I accidentally, and then I found it that this girl are very young, and then this is the really for me, really touched my heart and then to change my perspective on Burma. So a lot of people have the same situation, like like the scare or someone die in the jail or thing like that. So no one can really know it. What is the people who live in the Burma and how they will be survived in their life.
But essentially, making this documentary gave you an opportunity to tell about a horrible experience that you lived through and survived.
Right. Correct.
And we don't, on American television, see very many programs about what is happening in Burma.
Right.
So I think maybe you saw a gap, a place where people didn't have information.
Right.
And you could fill that.
Right. At the same time, and then not only me, and then in the film, and then other people to share their experience and then how they struggle their life when they live in the Burma.
Nancy, how did you get involved with this program?
Well, I worked for the Nonviolence Empowerment Organization. I'm the Director of Media and Education, and we are an organization dedicated to working for human rights and refugees all over the world. And one of the goals of our organization is to document significant human rights situations around the world. And Burma is especially a country that we work on, and Shwe actually came to me and proposed this idea of working on a video last year, because last year was 1998. 10 years ago in Burma, they had a nationwide uprising in the country against the military regime. Millions of people joined this uprising, demanding for democracy and human rights in the country. And as a result, the Burmese military regime cracked down and killed over 10,000 students and civilians in the country. And so last year was the 10th anniversary of this uprising. And so we wanted to find a way in which we could commemorate this story and also to show the international community, the people of Tompkins County, that the situation is still continuing.
Well, this seems like a good lead-in to the clip from your video, which I think we have ready. And so let's take a look at a small bit of the uprising of 8/8/98.
Voices from
the uprising of 8/8/98.
Burma is the largest country in Southeast Asia, and it borders China, India, Bangladesh, Thailand, and Laos. Burma is a beautiful country, and people often call it the Golden Land for its abundance of gold and other precious minerals. The country is also known for its forests, which are rich in teak, a valuable wood used in building ships and homes. But there is another side of Burma. The history of Burma has been one of turbulence and social upheaval. In 1885, the English colonized Burma, and it was not until 1948 when General Aung San and his army gained independence for the country. Then, in 1962, General Nguyen, Commander-in-Chief of the army, overthrew the republic in a military coup. Since that time, Burma has been run by a military regime now called the State Peace and Development Council, or SPDC. The SPDC has engaged in such activities as murder, forced labor, rape, village relocation, and the destruction of the environment.
One of the things that I was most struck by watching this video is that there are quite a few refugees from Burma living in Tompkins County right now who are interviewed as part of the program. how did you get the Burmese community involved in this?
Well, last year was the 10th anniversary of 8/8/88, which is a very significant day in the Burmese massacre. And so we had interviewed them. We interviewed them about their personal experiences before and after they joined the uprising, and also...
And how many people are there that are Burmese refugees living in this area, approximately?
Well, approximately, I think at least the 15, around 15, they live here.
And did they feel that it was dangerous to share their stories at all?
Well, some people, they did. We didn't put it in the film, but at the same time, we have the meeting, and then they cross the country, and then some other the Burmese refugee and political exile, they came to the Ithaca, and we interviewed them. So some people, they said, well, don't worry, so just put it. So that's why they participated.
Well, I'm really happy that all of us here in Tompkins County got a chance to be a little more aware of some of the people who are refugees in our community. And I know one of the things that the two of you have been doing is looking around at other refugee communities in Tompkins County and trying to see what you can do to help them and let them consider video as a choice for getting their message across. I really appreciate having you.
Thank you.
We're about to take a break now.
We would like to thank you, too.
Yes, thank you. We're about to take a break now, and when we come back, we're going to be interviewing 2 more documentary producers, and after that, we're going to be seeing all 3 of the documentaries that these 4 individuals have produced in their entirety. So I hope that you stick with us, because we have lots more very, very interesting stuff for you to watch, and these really are examples of some of the best that Pegasus programming can be. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
Public access is amazing. It's not only here at Pegasus, but every place else. I can figure out no place other than that, unless you're in school, and I'm in school at Ithaca College, and they don't have the access that I have down here to equipment, editors, the mixers, and I just think it's great that I have access to it, and the content of my show is totally up to me. And I say what goes on, how does it look. I have total control. And if I want help, I want help. And I love it.
Having a wonderful time here. You all should come join me, because this is like one of the best things that was ever invented in Ithaca, next to, I don't know, the waterfalls. This is a great opportunity for everyone to express their creativity and their ideas, and I don't know, it's just fun, so come join us.
Access television is a wonderful way to get our voice out on the air. It's one of the few places where we can still go and talk about whatever views we have and give it to quite a large audience. I think it's a wonderful way for anybody, young or old, rich or poor, to come out and really tell others what they believe in.
And welcome back. In the second part of our PEGASYS Profiles program, I have 2 more local documentary producers joining us, talking about their experiences making very interesting documentary productions using the PEGASYS facilities and other local facilities. I believe one was made at Ithaca College. And both of these programs have just won awards being presented in the month of October in the Northeast Regional Alliance for Community Media Video Festival. And both of them have won in the documentary category, one in the professional and one in the non-professional media category. And to my immediate right, I'd like to welcome Davidson. And to my far right, Enrique Caiceda. Glad to see both of you here. And again, I'd like to tell all the viewers, if you keep watching. At the end of this program, we're going to be showing these videos in their entirety that these two producers have made. And but right now, we get a chance to go a little bit behind the scenes and find out exactly how one goes about putting a documentary together and what goes into making something that tells a story in as much detail as a documentary can do. Let's talk about your show first, Adore. The program's called Tortillas and Trajes, and tell us a little bit, just a little bit about it.
Well, it's Tortillas y Traje. It's also called Stories of Caiceda Women in Guatemala, and it's about more or less the daily lives and work of specific women that I became close to in the village of San Lucas Toliman in Guatemala. And I guess it could be called a day in the life because it really just sort of follows a couple of different women through different parts of their daily life and work. But it, you know, it also gets into some stories and memories that they have of their childhood and, you know, what they think about certain things that go on in their daily lives.
What struck me, having watched that video the most, was how up close you got to these women, how natural the interviews sounded, how really open they were, and how you really seemed to enter into their lives. How were you able to do that?
Well, when I went down to make this documentary, it wasn't my first time there. It was actually my third. And most of the women who participated in this video with me, I had known for about 2 years. And I had spent about 5 or 6 months down there over 2 visits where they got to know me and came to trust me enough to do this with me.
Because they're speaking about fairly personal subjects at some points in the video, things that they just wouldn't tell a stranger.
Right. And also the women who were in the video were women that I talked to about the video beforehand and asked if they'd be willing to do this with me as part of my studies. And they were women who very consciously knew what they were getting into.
What were you trying to show with the video? What was your overall purpose in making it?
Well, I wanted to make the video for a couple of different reasons. One was that I'd been there the year before and I wrote my thesis, my undergrad thesis, about these women and about their daily life experiences and memories of the Civil War in Guatemala. And it turned into a very long piece, and I felt that it wasn't going to be something that was going to be read very widely. And I wanted people to see what I had seen there and to get to know the people that I got to know. And I felt like video is kind of a perfect medium for that.
So instead of telling a story just to your teacher and your advisors, you thought the story could be told to the general public and would be of interest. Okay, we've got a little clip of it that we're going to watch right now, and I want to give you a chance to just tell us a little bit about what we're about to see.
Okay. Well, I picked a clip that's sort of in the middle of the video. It shows how daughters learn the work of their mothers and how girls start working at a very young age, which might be quite different than what we are used to in this culture and society.
Did you write the lyrics for the song? There's a song at the beginning.
Oh, there's a song at the beginning.
Song.
I helped to write the words. The melody was written by a young man in Guatemala.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the clip, just a taste of the video, which, as I said before, we're going to see in full after this program. Let's take a look at this clip from Tortillas and Traje.
Parents are dependent on their children's contribution to family life. Daughters learn the work of their mothers and grandmothers early on, beginning to help with daily tasks at a very young age. And children are raised with a high level of consciousness about their responsibility to care for others. It is not uncommon to see girls who don't look old enough to be outside of their houses alone, carrying their younger siblings in shawls on their backs while doing errands. Just like their mothers, this generation of Caiceda girls often finds it necessary to supplement the family income by working outside the home. As someone once said, childhood in Guatemala doesn't last long.
Yo me llamo Dora Florinda. Dora Florinda Jacinto García. Yo tengo 12 años. Todos los días yo trabajo. El oficio que hago, la limpieza, lavar trastos, atender a la tienda, y los días domingo yo ayudo a mi mamá.
Y entonces yo les he dicho a ellos, yo les enseño a trabajar para que ellos puedan ganar sus centavos después, para no estar robando, porque para mí sería vergüenza, ¿verdad?, que ellos en cada casa vayan tocando, demen, porque yo no trabajo, no, yo quiero salir adelante con ellos para que ellos no den esa vergüenza de pedir. Es que ellos deben de ser responsables para su trabajo, porque así como lo soy yo, tienen que hacer ellos. Y un día que yo ya no vivo con ellos, al menos ellos saben trabajar. Lo más honrado es trabajar.
Just a beautifully shot, beautifully told story. How long did all the post-production take, all of the editing take to do all of this and all of the subtitles?
It took a lot longer than I had expected. It was definitely the hardest part of the process and the most frustrating because I'd never had really any experience with it. It took about 9 months, but it was not intensive until the last like three months. I think most of it was done in the last 3 months.
Did you ever think it was going to take that long?
No. I had ideas for it to be done, a couple of months after shooting it, yeah. But it definitely was.
So I mean, people watch a documentary and it's a half an hour long. They watch it in a half an hour and they've seen your whole story, and yet to get to that point where they can consume it in that period of time.
Yes, amazing.
So much more work. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us, and hopefully all of our audience will stay with us and watch the whole program. And now I'd like to go over to Enrique. Enrique is one of our staff people at PEGASYS, and the program that he produced that won an award is called Dude Looks Like a Lady, about a local person who I think many of us have seen around town, and a subject that intrigued him and made him want to tell a more detailed story. But I'll let you tell us a little bit why this particular subject intrigued you.
Well, when I first came to this town, I always saw Lisa David walking around and riding his bicycle all over the town. And since I come from a very conservative country with all these kind of subjects about homosexuality or transvestites and stuff like that are very in the closet or something like that, I was very curious about him, and I never dared to like approach to him and talk to him, and I always saw this guy walking along. And nobody talks to him, but everybody was talking about him. Every time that he passed by, everybody turns around and started to gossip about this guy, but nobody approached this guy. So one day, after like 2 years of seeing him, I just decided to just go and talk to him. I say I would like to make a documentary about you because I know many people want to know about you, but they don't dare to ask, or, So he said, yeah, sure, let's do it.
What struck me, I think, most about this video is that, to a certain extent, it's a sad story. I mean, in some ways, it kind of made me feel sad watching it. And I think that, again, it's an intimate subject. It's hard for somebody to talk about things about themselves that aren't just happy, cheerful things, that really are a little bit bittersweet. And how do you get that kind of trust with a subject?
Well, we talked at the beginning, like for 3 or 4 days. He told me a couple of things about his personality and how he became this person, and basically it was just like that, talking. But he also I think he needs some sort of he's trying to call the attention as well, So he's desperate to have communication with people, and I guess this video production, it was like a way for him to express himself and say,
and reach people and communicate with people.
Yeah.
All right, we're starting to run out of time, so we're going to go right to your clip and take a look at a little piece from Dude Looks Like a Lady.
my story goes way back. I'm 10, 12 years old. Sometimes I wonder why I do it. I don't know, I wake up in the morning and I leave the house and I'm Lisa. I, put my makeup on, and that's a pain in the neck. It used to be fun, but now it's an everyday thing. Keep my trademark going. I don't know, this whole town knows me. Half of this town hates me, half the town likes me. I get my share of shit, though.
And thank you for joining us to look at these behind-the-scene views of these local documentary producers and these local documentaries. I hope you'll stick with us and watch the documentaries in their entirety. Thank you, Adora, and thank you, Enrique, for joining us and sharing a little bit of what made you do this. And for those of you at home, I hope that you might want to consider making a really special story to share with us as well through Pegasus. Thank you for joining us.